Hello, Vex Nation, and welcome to the 2025 Vex Robotics World Championship Drivers Meeting. My name is Tyler McCrary, and I'll be your Vex World's Master of Ceremonies. Today, I'm joined by Bailey Call from the Vex Robotics Game Design Committee.
Hey everyone, Tyler and I are so excited to see you all in Dallas in just a few days. Today, we're here to make sure that you're prepared to get the most out of your Vex Worlds experience. We'll start with some general information you'll want to know, like team check-in, robot inspection, and the Robot Skills Challenge, and the agenda. The first thing I want to make sure you all know about is the Vex Worlds website at vexworlds.com. It includes everything you need to know to navigate Vex Worlds, including the agenda, division assignments, and match schedules. Teams should also install the Vex Via app so they can check match results and rankings as they're happening, and have the Vex Hub app so they have the game manual in their pocket.
And while you're at the Vex Worlds website, check out the schedule for all the ceremonies that are happening in the Dome. The opening ceremonies will have lights and music and feature the Parade of Nations. During the closing ceremonies, we'll play the overall finals, give away the top awards, announce the winners of the costume and pit decoration contests, and unveil the new game for the next season.
Just like last year, each team pit will be 8 foot by 8 foot, and due to fire marshal code, floating balloons, smoke machines, bubble machines, and fog machines are not allowed. Nothing can extend outside of your pit area, and for safety reasons, the pipe and drape cannot be removed. Vex IQ teams are not allowed to bring fields or parts of their fields into the convention center, even homemade or unofficial versions. So save yourself some stress and leave those at home or at your hotel. Search pit areas at vexworlds.com for more information. And of course, the pit signs are yours to keep after the event as an awesome souvenir from your trip to Vex Worlds.
The first steps of Team Check-In will happen online again this year. You can begin the process by going to robotevents.com. There you'll find a check-in button on the primary coach's dashboard.
Once you've made it to Dallas, your coach can complete the process at the check-in desk in Hall F lobby at the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center between 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. Central the day before your event starts. That's where you'll get registration materials for your team. This means V5RC High School should do in-person check-in on May 5th. V5RC Middle School, JROTC, and VexU should complete check-in on May 8th, and all Vex IQ teams should check in on May 11th. All teams must be fully checked in by 11 a.m. Central Time on the first day of their event.
Teams are not able to access their pits before the event begins, so all robots and other materials will have to wait to enter the convention center until 8 a.m. on the first day of your competition when the venue opens.
Tyler, what do teams need to know about the day of the overall finals and the closing ceremony, other than that they don't want to miss it?
Well, no doubt it's going to be a super tight schedule, so every second counts. Teams should remember to pack and remove all items from their pit areas before going to the closing ceremonies. If you can't take all items back to the hotel or your vehicle, there'll be a space in Hall B for equipment storage during the finals. And don't worry, security will be monitoring the area, so all of your belongings are in good hands. Making sure the pits are emptied before heading to the Dome is crucial because as soon as one event ends, our staff begin getting the pits ready for the next round of teams.
On a related note, every attendee will be required to wear a bright yellow Vex Worlds wristband at all times to access the pits, divisions, skills, and arena. Team wristbands will be included in the registration packet you'll get at in-person check-in, and spectators can get theirs at the spectator check-in desk. Each team will also receive one free parking pass to Kay Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center Lot E.
Next, let's talk about volunteering. Event volunteers are the heart and soul of Vex Robotics competitions, and we literally could not run this event without you. Please consider signing up to volunteer while you're at Vex Worlds. Volunteering gets you up close and personal with the action in your division, and there are a ton of roles available. Many volunteer roles don't require any experience, and you can sign up for as little as half a day. Plus, volunteers who help for a full shift will get tickets for the ceremonies in the Dome. Until we run out of tickets, so be the first to sign up. Check out the volunteer section of the Vex Worlds website or email volunteer@recf.org with any questions.
Tyler, every year we have a few students who have been separated from their team or their coaches and don't know what to do. Where should people go if they're at Worlds and are looking for someone who's lost, doesn't know where to go, can't figure out what to do, or has questions where to find something?
Well, of course, we have special maps around the convention center, but help can always be found at Pit Admin, which is located in Hall D behind the Vex social media booth. It's the best place to start for any answers, and also the central location for lost and found items.
Well, I think that pretty much covers the important stuff about the agenda and the event layout. Now let's get to what I consider the good stuff. The competition and the rules. All teams should keep in mind two of the most important rules in our robotics competitions, G1 and G2. Treat everyone with respect and remember that this is a student-centered program. Students should be doing the work, and even during the most competitive moments, everyone must be respectful to one another.
If a drive team member has a question about a ruling from a head referee, what should they do?
Well, per Rule T3, drive team members may appeal a ruling while still at the field. But teams must remember that once the head referee has made their final decision, per T1, that ruling is final. Also, discussions are limited to the drive team members for that match, and they shouldn't discuss anything about that match until they've left the field.
Can a coach, adult, or mentor approach a head referee and dispute a ruling?
Nope. As I said before, only drive team members from that match have that right. Above all, this is a student-centered program, and students must be advocating for themselves. Students, please be sure to discuss any G1 or G2 issues with the head referee or division manager in your division before you leave after a match. The game manual makes it very clear that students should be the ones advocating for themselves, and issues should be brought up in the divisions by those students, not the adults. If adults are influencing these discussions, let your head referee or division manager know. Adults, whatever strategy the students come up with and agree on is what they should use in a match, even if you personally come up with what you believe is something better. We want this competition to be truly student-centered.
Where should teams go for robot inspection? And is there anything they need to know beforehand?
Well, we're going to do the self-inspection process again this year, and we encourage all teams to search for the inspection process at vexworlds.com. They should download their inspection sheet for their program, complete it ahead of time, and bring it with you to inspection. If you don't have access to a printer or forget to bring your inspection sheet, we will have more inspection sheets available for pickup right at the team's divisions. Inspection sheets must be completed and signed by both a drive team member and their coach before the students and robot get in line at their division. Head referees and inspectors will check selected items before approving your robot to get on practice field and compete in matches. Inspection will close at 12 p.m. on the first day of your event, so be sure to finish the in-person check-in the day before to ensure you have enough time for inspection before matches start.
Very cool. Can teams do anything to make the inspection process faster?
Absolutely. Teams should make sure all of their robot components are legal for the competition. VexIQ robots can only be built from official, unmodified VexIQ robot parts. Robots won't be able to pass inspection if they include grease, tape, custom parts, modified parts, or any other disallowed parts.
Is there anything teams should know about skills?
Actually, there is. Students must have a robot to enter the skills queuing area, and doors will close at a posted time each day, approximately 15 to 30 minutes before the scheduled end of skills. To participate in skills, students must be in line with their robot and inside the doors before the doors close. No exceptions.
What else should they know for this year?
Well, Rule T6 says teams should come to the field ready to play. Make sure your robots are in good working condition before coming to the field. Also, all robot transportation systems, including carts, wagons, and dollies, must stay outside of the queuing area and are not allowed inside the division.
How can teams make sure that the scores entered for their match are accurate?
During the match, teams should call out passes and goals as they occur, and referees will give verbal confirmations as described in Rule SC7. After the match has been scored, the scorekeeper referees will show all teams the match results. Once teams agree and the results are confirmed, the match is final. There is no need to ever question whether a score was entered correctly because it's all done at the field with team members and referees actively participating in the entire process.
Very cool. How will the competition be structured this year?
Well, each team will have one practice match and one qualification match on the first day of competition. There will be 5 elementary school divisions and 5 middle school divisions. Elementary schools will compete with other elementary school teams, and middle schools will compete with other middle school teams. Each division will have 10 standard finals matches, just like a normal event. Then the champion from each division will make their way to the Vex Dome to play in the overall World Championship Finals for their age group. These finals will be another set of one match per alliance to show us what they can do. Division champions will be ranked for the overall finals based on the scores that they won their division with. If there are any ties, then the first tiebreaker will be the sum of the two teams' qualification match scores. We'll end up with elementary school world champions and middle school world champions. If any of this is unclear, it's all included in the April 2nd game manual update.
Very cool. Now it's time to check out some of the questions teams have submitted about Rapid Relay and how it'll be played in the World Championship. You ready?
I better be. Let's do it.
All right. Is crossing over the 12x12 plate to grab balls from the load station allowed?
Well, yes, but it must be very clear to the referee that the robot is not crossing into the load zone until the human loader has released the ball into the loading station. If an illegally loaded ball is passed or scored into a goal instead of being retrieved and reloaded, it will result in a disqualification for that match.
Wow. What happens if we damage part of the field, like bumping into the 12x12 plate so it comes loose from the floor?
Well, Tyler, intentional, egregious, or repeated damage to a field element will result in a disqualification for the match. If needed, robots might also be disabled to prevent further damage to the field.
Can we bring our own game objects to matches to make sure that they're the right size and shape?
Yeah, unfortunately, this one's going to be a no. This would be considered bringing materials to simplify the game challenge, which is explicitly prohibited by Rule G8C. You're welcome to have your own game objects in your pit, but you cannot bring them to a competition, skills, or practice field.
Can Drive Team members consult people outside the driver station during the post-match discussions about ruling or scoring?
Nope. Discussions after a match are limited to the Drive Team members from that match, who cannot consult with teammates or other people outside of that match. Because Drive Team members are not allowed to have connected devices in the driver station, they also cannot look at match footage until discussions end and they've left the field.
Will robots be re-inspected before finals matches start in divisions in the Dome? What happens if we don't pass?
Yep, robots will be re-inspected before finals matches start in divisions and again at the Dome. Teams that don't allow re-inspection will be disqualified under Rule R3C. So will teams who violate Rule R17. Trust me when I say we don't want to DQ anybody, but we will if we have to.
Okay, let's wrap this up with a bit of an unusual one. Do we have to use all three game objects in a match, or can we use just one or two that we like the best?
As long as there are no more than two game objects in play at any one time, there's nothing that requires a team to use any specific number of game objects.
Very cool. I think that's about all the questions we have time for today. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
Actually, there is. Every match you play at Vex Worlds is an opportunity to help your alliance partner have their best match ever, even if it's not the greatest match for you personally. Stay nice, have fun, do your best, and know that just getting invited to the World Championship is an awesome accomplishment in and of itself, and you should be proud of it. I cannot wait to see what you achieve while you're here.
Absolutely. Every year Worlds gets better and better because of students giving it their absolute all at the final competition of the season. Thanks for watching, and be sure to say hi when you see Bailey and I at the 2025 Vex Robotics World Championship. See you soon.